As you can see, DOCKCASE Smart SSD enclosure is equipped with a high-definition smart screen. What exactly can this screen offer you? Let's explore together. When you connect the smart SSD enclosure to the host device, you will see the Power On initialization page, which displays our brand logo and the firmware model version of the enclosure. After the SSD is read, the SSD enclosure will first enter the main page. 3S Protection Progress Bar provides an additional 3S data write protection time in case of unexpected power failure. SSD detailed information, the authenticity and hardware information of the SSD, can be easily verified. SSD Life Prediction, SSD Life Early Warning, full grasp of SSD health. When you are on the main page, press and hold the D key until SSD info appears at the bottom of the screen, then release the button to enter the page. After returning to the main page, press and hold the D key until About Me appears at the bottom of the screen, then release the button to enter the page. The About Me page displays the device information and settings of the SSD enclosure. Modified settings are automatically saved, but some options may require a power cycle to take effect. Due to hardware or model limitations, some settings may appear grayed out. Read-only mode. The read-only mode of the SSD enclosure is off by default. To enable it, click the D key, move the cursor to the on side, and hold the D key for more than 3 seconds. Once enabled, the computer can only read the SSD's data, and cannot move, modify, or edit it. Changes to this option will take effect after a full power off and restart. Screensaver. The SSD enclosure screensaver wait time, in minutes. Setting it to off will disable the screensaver. By default, the enclosure will turn off the screen after 5 minutes of inactivity, and pressing the D key will wake the screen. Boot image. The reserved option for changing the boot logo is not yet available, and modifying the setting has no actual effect. Language. Set the language of the SSD enclosure. Restore. Restore the system settings of the SSD enclosure to factory defaults. Restart. Restart the SSD enclosure system. This function is typically used to test if modified settings take effect. Restarting the enclosure via restart may cause it to fail to establish a proper data connection with the computer. In this case, power off the enclosure, wait for 10 seconds after the screen turns off, then reconnect it to the computer. After returning to the main page, press and hold the D key until Monitor page appears at the bottom of the screen, then release the button to enter the Monitor page. This page will continuously display the SSD temperature and the USB interface voltage. Pressing the D key will exit this page. The SSD temperature usually refers to the controller temperature and is displayed in the top left corner of the page. It typically ranges from 0 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius, while the temperature during data transfer usually ranges from 0 degrees Celsius to 90 degrees Celsius. This chart shows the short-term temperature changes of the SSD. The USB interface voltage is the voltage provided by the computer's USB port and is displayed in the top right corner of the page. It typically ranges from 4.75 volt to 5.25 volt. If the computer's USB port voltage falls outside this range, it may affect SSD data transfer. The chart on the page shows the short-term voltage changes of the computer's USB interface. When the computer performs read or write operations, the display shows the real-time transfer status. Click the D key to return to the main page, while the transfer status remains minimized. Click the D key again to keep the transfer page minimized. Otherwise, it will return to full screen after 3 seconds. To switch the transfer page from minimized to full screen, simply click the D key during file transfer. The page will automatically switch to full screen after 3 seconds. When the computer's USB voltage drops below 4750 mV or 4.75 volt, it may cause issues with data transfer or SSD operation. That's all for the detailed overview of our DOCKCASE Smart SSD Enclosure Smart Screen. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.